Hey everybody, welcome back. I thought today I would give you guys a little overview of what I do when I am getting ready to go on a trip and I want to do a once around my trailer. What you're not going to see in any sort of detail is me like inspecting the seals, any of the silicone. I've shown that in a few other videos, and I did some silicone work recently, but beyond that, I was kind of struggling with how to show this so that it kind of strung together. So I think the best thing I can do is just kind of talk through it, and then in the background, or maybe intersperse it with some clips of me actually doing the work. I usually start by checking the tire pressure to make sure that the tires are aired up correctly. You do want to check your tire pressure, because overinflating or underinflating is going to be a very bad deal for your trip. So I'm down about, if I remember, about 6 pounds. Yep. It's almost a two-hand job. One more to go. You get the picture. I also check the lug nut torque, and on my specific trailer, the torque setting is 100 foot-pounds. Let's start with the wheels. I am supposed to be at 100 foot-pounds, and you always want to go cross pattern. You want to go in a circle. That's all there is to it. As you can tell, all those were all torqued just fine. Let's move on to the suspension. All the suspension bolts from the MORryde back to the spring hangers is 40 foot-pounds. Okay, all the hanger bolts that I have and all the bolts that are going through the MORryde suspension are all 40 foot-pounds. I know we just talked about wheels a second ago, and you should always check your owner's manual for what your appropriate torque setting is. I happen to know for a fact these are 40. So that's fine. And while I'm here, I don't know if I'll be able to get you guys a view of that or not. I hope so. We'll go down here and do these real quick. That's fine. And then up at the hitch, I have an equalizer hitch, and the bolts for the L bracket are, I believe, 45 foot-pounds, and then the pins that hold in the plate behind that are 27 foot-pounds. Okay. And then if you're working on your equalizer hitch, the L bracket bolts, at least on mine, are 45. They're all good. Now I've got to get back on the link plate bolts, and they are 27. And this is going to be a little bit harder to film. Let's see if I can get you guys up here. There we go. That might help. It's an awkward angle. And this is odd, 27. Some of these torque settings are a little strange, like 27. But it is what it is. That's fine. That's fine. So I also check my propane, which I didn't show that because it's pretty standard. I just pulled the tank cover, I unscrew the pigtail, lift the tank to see if there's, how much weight's in it. I know a lot of people have monitoring devices that they use. I've never found those to be super reliable. So I just basically lift, and if it's heavy, it's good. If it's somewhere in the middle, I'll go to a Tractor Supply because they charge you based on what you put in the tank, and I'll fill it up. I have one full tank on the left side. I have probably 3/4 of a tank on the right side right now. So I'm good as far as propane goes for now. I realized that when we make our trip to Wisconsin, there's going to be a propane run at some point, because there was the last time we were up there, and it was a nightmare. So it isn't like there wasn't like a Tractor Supply close by. There wasn't really even a propane station nearby. There was basically like a hardware nursery type place, and I ended up having to wait and wait and wait just to get a tank of propane. So hopefully we don't go through that this time. I'll probably look to fill up en route maybe if I feel like I need it. Otherwise, I'll probably head towards Milwaukee and hope to find a place instead of going down through Kenosha trying to source my propane. Regardless of all of that, I did check the propane. The propane's fine. I do go on the roof before we take off, and I go on the roof after every trip because I wash the roof and then I inspect it. I climbed up there in this video and just am basically showing you me getting up to the top of the roof and kind of looking at the back area, the back strip, the seal there. But I go through all the seals and look at them and look for any imperfection in the roofing material. Right now, everything is perfect. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an overview on what I do when I am looking at my trailer. I also, when I'm under there looking at the suspension, I'm checking out the brake wires too, because we have had a broken brake wire before. So I would encourage you to do the same. Not only check your suspension torque, but also check for broken wires. And there's a lot of stuff that can get messed up under your trailer, and I highly recommend that you spend at least as much time, well, maybe not as much time under the trailer, but a good amount of time under there looking at things, because it doesn't take much to really foul up a trip. So check your springs. Are they smiling or are they flat? If they're flat, get some new springs. I'm going to be doing new springs next year, not because mine need it, but because I think it's probably time, and I don't want to risk an issue, especially for as inexpensive as they are. And then, as I've said a million times, I don't like fixing things under duress. I'd rather do it on my own timetable when I can take my time. And so I want to kind of get ahead of that. Plus, beyond that, I know I am going to need new brakes, and I'm going to buy the assemblies and do that. And I'll do a video on all of that when the time comes. But in the meantime, I hope this gives you kind of an idea of what I look for. I would say the best thing to do if you're nervous about what you should do is get a piece of paper out and then start making a list of checkpoints that you want to do every time you go on a trip. Okay, that's it. Hope you guys find this useful.